Let's see. Vestas. Oh, I got 4 Vestas in the room already. So we about to begin. Hold on, let me give it 30 seconds so you can go ahead and get your notes, your drink, and your vest. Because we vested up today. It's Friday. Hey, you already know what that date is. I'm going to stay away from that date, but you already know what that date is. So guess what, Vestas? I'm about to begin, and this live is going to be short. I promise it's going to be short because I got to do the Shilo happy birthday video. I promise myself. But I want to talk to my viewers, investors, because I have missed you. Okay, I missed you. So let me go ahead and give you something to eat on. All right. So shout out first to Trinidad Chambliss. So he's another quarterback from Ole Miss. Recently, by the state judge of Mississippi, have granted him the 6 year, I think it's 6 year extension to play for college for Ole Miss. Now, I did hear that the NCAA has the right to block it or appeal it. Why would they do that? If they do that, that's going to be another hot story because that means that the NFL needs, how can I say it? They need to know the storyline in order to trump Shedeur Sanders' storyline. And I'm assuming they would need another black quarterback to be in the draft this year in order to seem non-racist, if you know what I mean. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But congratulations, Trinidad Chambliss. I don't know if he has the opportunity to negotiate his contract. So I'm going to need y'all to be on the lookout for them. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, Justine? That's right. Viewers, investors. So we're going to continue. But congratulations. Hey, watch out for them trolls. It is Friday the 13th. Okay, watch out for them trolls. But hey, congratulations to Trinidad Chambliss. Okay, congratulations. Now, moving, I cannot find a story about Shilosanders meeting with the Cleveland Browns. I even checked Shiloh's page. I don't see anything. I checked Well-Off page. I don't even see anything. So after this live, I'm going to continue to look so I can include it in Shilosanders' happy birthday video. But I don't see it. I don't see it. I Googled it. I even asked AI. AI said it has not been an official meeting with the Cleveland Browns. But since you said it was, and another Vesta viewer said it was in the live 2 days ago, I'm going to continue to dig, but I haven't seen that story. But I would definitely love to report on that story. But let's just talk in hypotheticals. So if that was the case, Shilosanders actually would fit perfectly in the Cleveland Browns defense in the secondary. Hard hitter. I think with Myles Garrett and the defensive core that they have now, adding someone like Shilo, even if he's a safety too, right? Because he has gotten older, his body has gotten wider. He has more muscle mass. I think, and Shilo has a point to prove. Also, I think it's going to work out for him. I just need something legitimate. Now the combine is starts the week of the 23rd this month and ends around I think it's the 3rd or the 5th of March, and then soon after that, there it is the what is it called? The undrafted free agent signing. So March is going to be big for Shilo and Shedeur. And I'm going to go ahead and get into that. When I was talking about in my other live regarding back pay, Shedeur Sanders can negotiate a back pay or he'll be getting a back pay. So it's two things to that. Actually, March Madness, I didn't know this. Every NFL team, every year at the beginning of March, all NFL teams has a pot. I think the pot is about $450 million where they look at and assess all of their players. And if the players executed or perform higher than their NFL pick, they actually get a bonus. So even with Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowler, definitely with a Pro Bowler under his belt, and um, all of those records that he broke for Cleveland and also the NFL, Shedeur Sanders is allegedly maybe getting around $1 million bonus. So that's another story that we need to look into in March. We need to watch the headlines because that's when the NFL teams they actually pay out to all of their players that have performed above and beyond. And we know that Shedeur Sanders, no matter what, has performed above and beyond. So hold on, let me share the screen right here. I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second. Let me show this right here. Show you what I'm talking about. And it's something deeper. Okay, you see this here? Performance incentives, right? So he's talking about that. And then where was it? I think I moved it before the live. It's called Proven Performance Escalator. Shedeur Sanders. Read this. To qualify for level 3, which is the highest. And it's only for 2nd through 7 rounders. Pick must be selected by the Pro Bowl on the original ballot in at least one of his first 3 seasons. Now, this could be a loophole for Shedeur Sanders because, as we know, he was an alternate. But if Shedeur Sanders went to the Pro Bowl for whatever reason, the NFL chose him and the players chose him, and of course the fans, we had an input in that. All we need to do is do that again. And if Shedeur Sanders is on the original ballot, let's just say being an alternate disqualified him for this year, he being on the Pro Bowl ballot for next year, definitely his 4th rookie year. Shedeur Sanders for his 4th year as a 4th rookie year contract, Shedeur Sanders could easily top out $5 to $6 million just by being associated with the Pro Bowl in any way, just by breaking all of those NFL records, just by breaking Cleveland records. And you know what he did in the first year. Imagine what he's going to do in the 2nd year and the 3rd year. I have already told you how Shedeur Sanders need to negotiate that 4th year. Oh, and get this. I saw a paragraph. If Shedeur Sanders, look at this now. If Shedeur Sanders continues to elevate and continue to break stats and records like he is, the Browns can negotiate a contract with Shedeur Sanders in year 3. It's in here. I forgot to highlight the paragraph, but in year 3, the Cleveland Browns can attempt to lock down Shedeur Sanders, offer him his second NFL contract, and lock him down and put him down as the franchise. So this time next year, the 2026 NFL season will be over. We'll be going into the third year of his contract. Next March, the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders go ahead and outperform like he has been doing. The Cleveland Browns, this time next year, they can be offering Shedeur Sanders that contract. They may not even wait to year 4. Now let's talk about some of these other crazy rumors going around. So I alluded to it. They talking about Willis being Cleveland Browns quarterback, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. We talked about this. I'm not even look. I don't chase the Emmy lambs. Especially with, it's other YouTubers that chase those stories like that. I'm not driving myself crazy every day. Okay, Vestas, I'm not driving myself crazy every day. But this is what I'm going to do is when I see that it's meat and potatoes on the table, that's when I'm going to come to you, especially on my lives. Especially anytime something big drop, I'm coming to you on lives. I'm not doing videos. I'm coming to you on lives. But you know what? I said all this to say this. Like I said in my last live, let Cleveland Browns do something stupid and trade Shedeur Sanders. Do you know how many teams are in the background just waiting for Cleveland to be, quote unquote, Cleveland and do something wrong? Shedeur Sanders don't have to prove nothing. He's done everything he can. But if Cleveland wants to be Cleveland this year, don't be surprised if another team, once Cleveland make that announcement, and I had someone comment on my video saying that Shedeur Sanders is going to be QB 3 or 4 this year. Let Cleveland go ahead and do that, especially 4. 4 means that he go back to the practice squad. That's when teams are able to come in. We remember this last year. We learned a lot last year. That's when the teams are able to come in and actually say, okay, hey, we want to offer a trade for Shedeur Sanders. But Cleveland ain't going to be that stupid. But if Cleveland wants to play Cleveland games this year, especially with the quarterback role, hey, go for it. Go for it. But the teams are waiting. The teams are waiting for Cleveland to mess around. So let me keep moving forward. All right, I hit on that. The trade contract, I hit on that. All right, Sylvesters. I told you I'm not going to keep you that long. Now, a few weeks ago, I said I was going to show you proof on when Cleveland. I'm not going to say the NFL, but I'm going to say Cleveland colluded against Shedeur. All right, Velstas, I want to pull this up. I want to show you exactly where I'm getting this from. You see this date here? October the 28th, 2025. So I was watching this clip around the same time. And this is when I discovered that. So I started looking at a lot of videos, right? What's Shedeur Sanders' birthday? February the 7th, 2025. Shaun King, if Shaun King didn't ask the host to replay this clip I'm about to show you, I would have missed this. And we would have never knew that the Cleveland Browns last year on Shedeur Sanders' birthday was talking about picking Dillon Gabriel. Hold on.
Let's hear from Shaun King back in February.
Shaun, I ask you about a quarterback. I don't think we've mentioned his name one time on the show. Had a pretty good Senior Bowl week. What do you think of Dillon Gabriel?
Play it again. 22 seconds, 23 seconds.
Said, Mike, before I come on tomorrow, I need you to play a SOT. So let's hear from Shaun King back in February.
Shaun, I ask you about a quarterback.
Look at that date. Do y'all see that date? That is Shedeur Sanders' birthday. Now, the gentleman that's about to talk, I don't know if he's Jay or Jason Crawford. Now, watch what he says in this video. Then I'm going to show you the original video where this came from.
I don't think we've mentioned his name one time on the show. Had a pretty good Senior Bowl week. What do you think of Dillon Gabriel?
I don't, because I think his skill set only fits one specific type of offense.
That was a flashback in October regarding February the 7th of 2025. This lets me know how Kevin Stefanski allegedly was dirty. And allegedly, Kevin Stefanski, he had this out for Shedeur Sanders to embarrass Shedeur Sanders in the draft last year. They were talking about who knew of a Dillon Gabriel last year. And why are they talking about Dillon Gabriel on Shedeur Sanders' birthday in Cleveland? Hold on. Well, let's go to the original. All right. Do y'all see this date? This is the original video where that clip came from. All right, let me let you go ahead and hear what Shaun King said.
Shaun, I ask you about a quarterback. I don't think we've mentioned his name one time on the show. Had a pretty good Senior Bowl week. What do you think of Dillon Gabriel?
I think he's a really good college quarterback.
But it's not going to translate to the NFL?
I don't, because I think his skill set only fits one specific type of offense. And that's going to be like that Art Browns Baylor system, where he can throw a lot of screens, where a lot of it, is kind of zone read, up-tempo, fast-paced stuff, and not a whole lot of NFL teams run that. So I just don't think he's a guy that fits in a lot of the current NFL systems.
Is it a big deal to be left-handed?
Really, it's up to the coordinator. You would find that some coordinators are very uncomfortable having to flop over their play calls for a left-handed quarterback. I've worked with some
everything,
guys
doesn't it?
It does. And the really good guys, it doesn't matter. They never pass up an elite talent because he's left-handed. But for, I would say, probably 65, 70% of the sitting coordinators in the National Football League, they would openly tell you, if not completely against it, they'd be uncomfortable with it.
All right, let's pause right there, viewers, investors. All right, so we see exactly what the conversation was going on in Cleveland around this time. Even though this show aired, or this segment aired on Shedeur Sanders' birthday last year, that means it was talks in Cleveland, especially around the Cleveland Browns organization, about drafting Dillon Gabriel, who nobody knew about. Now, it seemed like Shaun King knew about him, and you heard what Shaun King just said about him. He was basically undraftable. A lot of mock drafts had Dillon Gabriel going 6th round, 7th round, mostly undrafted. So how did Dillon Gabriel even get in the 3rd round for the Cleveland Browns? Well, we already know. Now we already know the history about it. Kevin Stefanski had a relationship with Dillon Gabriel and the agency and all that other stuff. Now, I want to bring this up. Now, why is the rumor going around that Dillon Gabriel may go to the Atlanta Falcons? I'm about to connect the dots. Well, we know Kevin Stefanski is there. You're right. That's one. But another reason why Dillon Gabriel may wind up in Atlanta. Well, we know Tommy Reese went to Atlanta, who is quote unquote familiar with Dillon Gabriel, who is a left-handed quarterback. Well, guess who else is a left-handed quarterback? Well, Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Reese said, okay, well, yeah, we know how to deal with a left-handed quarterback. Michael Penix is a left-handed quarterback. So now knowing this about how, offensive coordinators feel about, flipping their books to support, I guess, a left-handed quarterback, Tommy Reese wouldn't have no issue with it in Atlanta, nor Kevin Stefanski would have any issues with it because Michael Penix is a left-handed quarterback and Dillon Gabriel is a left-handed quarterback. Now, Tony, you know what? Tony Talks Vested Up. You actually could be reaching. I could be reaching, right, about Cleveland Browns drafting Dillon Gabriel. You just saw Jason bring up Dillon Gabriel out of the blue, right? On Shedeur birthday, out of all the days. I think this was Kevin Stefanski. Oh, and before I go further, remember I brought up another video. Kevin Stefanski didn't have any head coach experience before he got to the Cleveland Browns. Andrew Berry put that information out there. That shocked me by surprise. So this is what I'm thinking on the reason why Jay or Jason, whatever his name is, brought this up to Shaun, head coaching experience or whatever. This show brings up Shaun King's a lot. I was watching some other videos back in 2024 where Shaun King was a very he would come around a lot and do some of their shows. So Kevin Stefanski, all he had to do was call this show. Hey, I'm hearing that. Hey, by the way, whoa. When is Shaun King coming back to the show? When is he going to appear? All Kevin Stefanski had to do, because he lacks the knowledge of being a head coach. Hey, ask Shaun King what's his opinion of Dillon Gabriel. Hey, if you think I'm smoking tonight on February Friday the 13th, let me know I'm smoking, but I don't think I'm smoking. No, but let me show you this. I gotta show you something else. Now, we all know about the great Tony Grossi, right? Tony Grossi. Oh, if you go back and watch some of the old stuff, Tony Grossi didn't even see shedeursanders falling out top 3, top 5. And he did say many times, if the Giants don't pick him up at number 6, or the Giants don't pick him up at number 9, somebody's definitely going to get him, in the late first round. Easy. I mean, easy. And when Tony Grossi started talking about, shedeursanders, that's why he dropped at the 5th round. We know all them lying narratives that Tony Grossi said. But guess what? Hold on. I found this video. And I'm going to show you exactly what Tony Grossi said. Here we go. See this right here? Next month, March, this is when we really start to need to watch their shows, because that's when they start dropping nuggets about how the Brown is going to move. Now, let me caveat that. Let me pivot. I'm going to say Tony Grossi and maybe the show, like that particular show that I just showed you, May was in the know last year because Kevin Stefanski was feeding that information. So I would say for next month, maybe we do need to tune in. I'm definitely going to tune in to see if they drop any nuggets. But with Kevin Stefanski out of the building, I'm not sure if they're going to get the same type of information because I don't think Todd Monken is going to do that. But Grossi, he was in the know, but he wasn't in the know. Why would Tony Grossi? Do y'all see this date? This date here is about 2 weeks before the draft. If you put all these pieces together, Kevin Stefanski knew exactly what he was going to do to shedeursanders. He knew exactly what quarterback that he was going to draft in front of shedeursanders to humiliate him and to collude against him. If you put the pieces together between what Shaun King said, or what Jay brought up to Shaun King in those 2 clips, and what Tony Grossi says, you got the piece right there. And I hate to say it was around shedeursanders' birthday because you saw the dates, okay? I'm doing good, Evelyn. It's been a long week. Shedeur is our QB1 franchise. Hey, I'm standing firm on that also. But if the Cleveland Browns want to be the Cleveland Browns this year, who knows? Who knows? But I really think, me personally, I really think it's the Cleveland media that's creating all of this unnecessary talks because I think they want to stay relevant. That's my opinion. But I really don't think Todd Monken is feeding information to them. But we shall see. March will tell everything. March will tell everything, including Shilosanders' future in the NFL. Okay. So there you go. Y'all have any questions? Told you I wasn't gonna keep you that long. And I'm still gonna do a video on this, but the NFL and I'm gonna say this allegedly, Roger Goodell, even though he was with Shedeur Sanders in the Pro Bowl on the sideline, and he was giving them dabs and breaking all type of boundaries and stuff like that. There's nothing in my soul that says that Roger Goodell did not know exactly what was going to go on. Because remember when he said to Shedeur Sanders, when they was dressed up in that black tux and long coat, he said, "Yeah, I'm worried about your dad." I think he knew. All these owners talk to everyone. We already knew they was talking about the slides and stuff. Even if you go to this particular video and you see the title here and you see the date, they were talking about a slide for Shedeur Sanders, but the farthest I think Tony Grossi even had Shedeur Sanders sliding was in the first round. Maybe number 33, number 33, but nobody saw this coming. I think Roger Goodell knew exactly what was going to go on.
All right, this next room, our last one, comes straight from Tony Grossi. We gave you an assignment. You came through for us. Tony, the Browns will draft 2 quarterbacks in this draft.
Can they draft 2? Yes, I'm buying that.
Okay.
Will they? I don't think they're going into this draft with the strategy of we got to come out of here with 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But listen, I think it's possible. But again, I don't think it's their goal to come out of here with 2.
Grossi had said about the Cleveland Browns drafting 2 quarterbacks in February and definitely before the draft, because the draft occurred on April the 24th, 2025. So there you go. They did collude against Shedeur Sanders. And if you put the pieces together, the picture is there. But we already knew that. This is just evidence. And one thing about these media outlets, they know bits and pieces. They know some of the truth. But if you put the pieces together, the puzzle is laid out right there. So, okay, you heard it. All right, Vestas. Hey, so thank you so much. That is it. I promised it was going to be a short live. But viewers, thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy family. And hey, just stay vested up 365 degrees. Anything else? Thank you for the information. Man, when I saw that video and I saw Shedeur Sanders' birthday in that video, I mean, it really just broke my heart. It really just broke my heart. Kevin Stefanski was fishing around last year about experts' opinion on Dillon Gabriel. Even Shaun King said, "Nah, Dillon Gabriel is undraftable." Basically, he wouldn't do it because Dillon Gabriel's style of football really doesn't fit the NFL. So we already know how he did it. Kevin Stefanski did it. All right, viewers, investors, thank you so much. Enjoy your night and stay vested up 365 degrees. All right, investors. Let me see if anybody put anything else in the chat.